We got a package from the jungle site. Of course, you already know what's in it. So this is one of them rare occasions where I actually bought something off of a review off of somebody else's YouTube channel. So JK18 had these particular solar path lights for review on his channel. So the thing that made me pretty much smash the buy button is that the light transmitting envelope that they're made out of is actual real glass, which is a huge plus, because I've had many plastic ones and the plastic always fades or yellows. So this is one of my newer ones. I don't know exactly how many years old is this, but it's not very old. And it's really hard to tell on camera, but the plastic is all yellow. And this is from the Big Blue Box Store. So if you ever been to the Big Blue Box Store and you've seen these lights, they're like $10 a pop. And then they got this particular solar panel on top. It's a unique solar panel on top. And then when you take it apart, this is what it looks like inside. So you got your typical little surface mount LED in here. It does have a switch on here to turn it on and off. And it has your typical 14430 little 3-volt battery in here. And it's 400 milliamps, 3.2 volts. Oh, 6 of 2017. So these are, not the newest and they're not the oldest of the bunch. But the biggest issue with these things is, one, the plastic looks like crap. Basically, after a couple of years, I don't know how well the camera can tell, but it's cloudy. You can't clean it off. It's just the way it is. So this is the type of LED. I bought 2 of these to replace 2 at one time that I broke or ran over with a lawnmower or something like that. And they're actually, when they were brand new, they were very nice. But now that the plastic is all clouded over, they look like crap now. And then the only other thing is these 430 batteries. One, they're very hard to come by. And 2, they're only good for about 500 cycles, and then, which is about it. You might as well say they're good for a year, and then after that, you don't get all-night lighting, even in the prime of summertime. So they get tired just like any other battery. They got a service life and stuff like that, and then they die. So that's the newest of the bunch. Now, I got a bunch of other lights here that are far uglier. Yeah, that's flippin' ugly. As you can see, that looks like garbage. I mean, this is the oldest of the bunch. Compared to that one, yeah, you can tell the difference even on camera. Absolute awful. And it's the plastic because of the UV and being out in the dirt and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I've rehabbed these a couple of times already, where now it's to the point where it's not worth rehabbing anymore because they're disgusting. So these were all from the same, from the Big Blue store. And you can tell that these are the older ones just by the solar panel with 2 of them side by side. These are the newer generations. These are the older one. The solar panels, I've already done my little hack on them where they start chipping and fading, and I put the clear coat on top of them and stuff like that. And they've been renewed a couple of times, like I said. So these still have the date code on them of 2013. So these are ancient compared with, solar panel. I mean, these solar path lights. They got the straw hat LEDs. These also had the 14430s. I got tired of replacing them and stuff like that, so I broke into them. And I put a big honking battery in there, whatever I could find, and whatever would fit in there. And I put a lithium cell protection in there and stuff like that. And these are easy to crack open. There's 2 notches on either side of these things that you can break into. Of course, I gotta have light because I can't see. And you just fold them out of the way, and they'll open right up. And then the other thing with these things, since they're so old, they've been out in the weather for so long, and they've been outside for so long, there's all kinds of spider webs in here, and and cocoons and stuff like that. So this is my final hack job of rehabbing these things. I put these 3.2 volt 18500s in them. So, and then I put a cell protection board in here and stuff like that. But they work. They still work for the ones that, the spiders haven't destroyed everything. And that's the only other thing with these things. The spiders start, making their cocoons on the circuit boards here, and they short out and stuff like that. And the weather gets them into them, and the dampness and the humidity and this and that and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. And eventually the circuit boards go to hell. Or the solar panel goes to hell and it won't charge and stuff like that. So 2022, I made the decision that says next season, next spring, I'm buying all brand new path lights to have around the house and stuff like that. And I was going to be about to do the search of, should I use the same old garbage or should I use something new? So eventually, Jay had something. I says, hey, they're made out of glass. I'm going to grab them because it's glass and they'll last a long time. So, I did buy 3 boxes. Only one was delivered today, but that doesn't matter. So, same thing, exact thing that Jay bought, or actually not, he didn't buy. Sorry. So this is the XMCOSY Plus. These are the 6-pack of these little glass solar path lights. And we'll do an official unboxing. We'll actually take it out of the box on camera. So this is the destructions. Is it the destruction? Yep. So what's nice about these is these use a 1.2 volt AA nickel metal hydride at 1000 milliamp hours. So a common battery. So they're easy to find and easy to replace. And these things are only rated 500. Doesn't even say what they're rated for. You might as well replace them every year or every 2 years, because otherwise the capacity goes to hell on the little battery, AA battery, and they're not gonna, eventually you're gonna notice that they're not on all night, even in the peak of summer. So the only thing that I used to have a bunch of AA powered path lights. And the biggest thing with the AA, 1.2 volt powering a 3 volt LED is there's a little black magic in there to get them to light. Because we all know that a 1.2 volt battery is not going to power a 3 volt LED. So these are very heavy. This head right here is probably heavier than this whole contraption, this plastic piece of crap. Put put together. And I'm dropping dirt all over the floor. That's nice. But this head is heavier than this whole contraption. So that just shows you the construction quality of these particular lights. So very nice off the bat already. So we'll get one out here, and even the upright is metal. Same thing with the other ones; they were metal, and then the plastic stake that just you just jam it in one end, whatever. They're a tight fit, so whatever fits and stuff like that. So that's good. So we'll get the other 5 out of the way, because this is actually quite hefty. So this is the top is plastic with the little solar panel on there, and that comes off. And what's really nice about these is these are actually dual color. So you get a warm white and a cold white, which is kind of unique. And then this particular brand also has a RGB and a warm white, I believe. And all you got to do is control that with a switch. So one selection is a white, warm white, and the next one is a cold white, and then you got off. And of course you can see the emitters right there. And this is the little battery compartment, and it's completely dead. So typical 1.2 volt nickel metal hydride, 1000 milliamp hour. So that's the battery. And then we'll have to get a regular battery out to power it up. For demonstration purposes, so you stick the battery in, and you can just have the light on. So there's your warm light, and then you can have your cold light, or off, blah blah blah. So is this stone dead? No, it's not stone dead. Just didn't have it all the way down. Okay, not a problem. Doesn't matter. It just justifies that it works. So for me, just the way I am, I like to give all these batteries. I'm going to take all these batteries out once I have the other 2 boxes. Yes, I did buy 18. I'm going to charge them all up to on a regular charger to charge them up. And actually, I have a charger here. It's a single cell, but I'll get my duals, my triple pack out and stuff like that, so we can give this a full charge, and then we can make it into a good start of its life. So let's see, how much are they? So they're almost right down to 0 anyway. So I'll nuke them. I'll nuclear them to the max. Okay. So top part is plastic. This part is actually metal, and this is real glass. So you can tell it's real glass. And it's actually got a very nice crackled pattern in it. And it's got the little reflector on the bottom of it. And then, of course, everything is just a friction fit here, where you can just stick the stake in there, and then you stick it in the ground wherever you want it. Stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Of course, you want to be careful of not trying to run them over with a lawnmower or kick them, or try to run them through a snowblower. So, unlike Jay's channel, I can take mine apart because I paid for mine. So I can take mine apart and see what's inside. So these guys only have 2 screws on each side. There's only going to be some charging components in there and an inductor to run the LED off of 1.2 volts. So there is the solar panel connections, and there's the little circuit board. And I see the inductor in there to run this contraption. And of course, if you visit Big Clive's channel, I think he's got a couple of videos on screwing with these particular inductors in these to make them run longer at reduced output. So if you're into that garbage, you can play around with this stuff, and that's the only part you're going to be changing is this right here. This is the inductor. We got a diode in there. Looks like we got a little cap in there, and then a little rectifier in there. Or a transistor of some sort. And then there's the back of the LED board. So that's all that's really in here. Simple electronics, because it's a simple circuit. And we'll just put the screws back in. We'll put it back together. Line up the posts, which could be kind of challenging. Make sure we don't pinch any wires. I completely missed it. Still missed it. So I took mine apart so you don't have to. There we go. So the only other thing with these little guys is that I don't know how tight. I'll have to see how tight that is actually when it goes back together. See if there's any spaces for spiders to get in here. Because that's what really wreaks havoc on these things, is spiders getting into them. And them little earwigs that wreak havoc on these things. So, base goes back on like this. Just gotta line up the notches. Yeah, it could be a little bit of a challenge for spiders to get in there, but if they wanted to, the real small ones could get in there and get into the electronics. But overall, at least we won't have to worry about the plastic yellowing and stuff like that. Probably in time, you know, probably the solar panel, the outside coating on there will probably chip or fade or yellow like these guys do. You know, they get that nasty. Of course, I've already sprayed these a couple of times, so they don't look awful. But in time, they start looking like garbage. See, like this one. This one's been sprayed, but it's still that coating that they were originally made is still coming off. So it chips and stuff like that. So probably the same thing will happen to these in time and stuff like that. But see, like these have been outside all day, and they're not really that bright. So the batteries are wore out anyway in them and stuff like that. So we'll go over the little destruction manuals here to see if there's anything interesting in here. It says use and care, includes the 1.2 volt, 1000 milliamp nickel metal hydride. Lifetime of the LEDs is estimated to be 100,000 hours, blah, blah, blah. So the batteries will wear out, or the circuitry will wear out long before 100,000 hours. And then all the bits and pieces, the solar panel unit, the crack style glass lampshade, which is very nice. It seems to be a new tradition now where, like, I've seen a lot of these home shows where, let's say we're replacing the banisters on a staircase. So they replace the banisters. They'll put 3 pieces of glass, of tempered glass, on going up the staircase. And then when they're all done and installed and ready to go, they go downstairs or wherever they got access to the center piece of glass, and they'll actually take a punch and they'll actually shatter that center glass, and then you get this effect, that shattered glass effect. So you can just imagine that, in between 2 pieces of glass, and that's seems to be the new thing going around now, the shattered glass look. Da-da-da-da. And of course you got the selection of course you get the connection tube, you get the ground spike, and the option of warm and cool. So that's nice. Or if you get the other kind, which I believe is the bronze, this one's the black with the warm and white, and then the other thing is the bronze with, I believe it's warm white and RGB. So a couple of choices, and it tells you about the solar panels, how it conducts sunlight into electricity, and of course, when you want to place these things, you want to put them somewhere where you're going to get the maximum amount of sunlight. So, ideally, if you could get sunlight for 8 hours a day, you'll get the best performance out of them. But we all know they're very rarely is any of them going to get any kind of light more than 8 hours. Solar lights are specifically designed for outdoor use and ideal for night lighting and gardening, path, blah, 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 cleaning and maintenance. Please clean the solar panel with a damp cloth. Do not use any chemical or abrasive cleaners. Prevent moisture from entering to the solar panel unit. Please, replacement parts may be ordered through the fixture modeler, blah, blah, blah. Rechargeable battery, first time use. Locate the on-off warm-cool switch. Ensure that it's in the white or cold position. So it states that it probably doesn't charge while it's in the off position. So it has to be in W or C. And then, of course, it's pretty self-explanatory to take the head off so you can access the battery. Make sure if you're trying to poke these things in a hard ground, that you either make a pilot hole or whittle out a hole so you don't break the spike, because they are meant to break off. If you hit it hard enough or push hard enough, they will break. And then the solar panel is capable of 2 volts at 250 milliamp hours. Battery is 1000 milliamp hour. 1, 2, 3-way control switch, blah, blah, blah. Brightness is 20 lumens. And then the warm white is 3200 kelvins. Cool white is 6000 kelvins. Working time 8 to 12 hours. After an 8-hour charge, if you can get 8 hours of sunlight on it. Blah, blah, blah. And that's about it. So if you want to check out the QR codes, or that one, that's for your help. Help! I got bugs in it. So that's it. Just got to wait for my other 2 boxes to arrive, because they probably came from separate warehouses. So I got one for today. So I'll be charging these batteries, and then I'll put them out in a little while. So this video, thanks for watching. comment, rate, and subscribe, and follow me on Rumble and all the other good stuff. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.